What starts out as a means of Mike getting some much needed downtime at a bar that he fondly recalls from the past turns into another mission for Flag as a friend had been killed in a car accident and the crowd getting rougher with unexplained fires. Deanna doesn't really have too much involvement with this episode, as it's Billy and Zoe doing the most investigative work with regards to geological and architectural surveys on Sonny's bar. In the same vein to that of his father, Mike goes out of his way to help old friends in times of despair, and just like his father, it seems like he had more than one female interest, as Julie Nelson was interested in him before he shipped out to Iraq when he was still part of the army. I should also mention, just as he's sharing a kiss with her, you hear Kit in his earwig and he just pulls this look on his face like, of all the rotten luck! I thought that was funny. Alona Tao, hope I pronounced that right, who plays Julie, comes off as sincere as Julie wanting to keep her father's bar open and to end the problems that have been really hurting her business as of late. It doesn't surprise me that someone would try and put Julie out of business as a means of acquiring her bar for the mineral rights, as it sits on $50 million worth of methane, which explains the unexplained fires around the bar. Again, it doesn't surprise me, as there are unsavory people and practices that would stoop to lows like this in order to make some money. Vincent M. Ward as Eddie, the pacifist, really seems like a gentle giant, as he doesn't want any trouble. Yet it seems odd for someone who hates violence would be serving as a bouncer. One thing that was used a lot in the original series were subplots, with Kit dealing with people reacting to him or him dealing with situations. This is the only time this is used in this series, where he sees two suspicious people trying to steal him and then being unsuccessful in their efforts with a crowbar and a welding torch. Oddly enough, he didn't need to do anything with regards to try and stop them, as being zen was a key theme of this episode in being restraint and not engaging in any unnecessary force. Zachary Ty Bryan as Terry Driscoll really plays a dumbass role in that he just looked like a guy that didn't have a lot of wit nor common sense about him when Mike presented the gun that Terry intended to use on him to his father, Phil, who was an old friend of Sonny's. Now for the discovery of Sonny's car itself. The 1968 Dodge Coronet itself was purchased for an art gallery exhibit. I have to agree on the moral issue of having such a piece on display when a man lost his life in it is not exactly appropriate. And as for the art dealer himself, who seems to help Mike connect with this, is just an idiot. Hearing Mike call him an ass clown was so surreal not to hear anyone outside of the WWE to use it. But Chris Jericho invented it. You're welcome. And again, I have to address Kit housing that Gatling gun beneath his hood in order for Mike to escape the gunfire from the roof where men whose affiliation is never addressed. And I will correct myself, from Flight Night it was 2 Gatling guns, not 1. Excuse me. It would have been nice for some context, as it was believed to be men working for Terry Driscoll, but again, nothing was ever given any context regarding this. And a sideways turbo boost and hearing Kit scream? That's new, I'll give him that. The payoff was satisfying, identifying Terry as the man cutting Sonny's brake lines and learning that he had the geological surveys done and having him taken out. Mike getting some alone time with Julie, who clearly wanted to stay around, but Mike says he has obligations. The visual ending was fitting, with Mike driving off in Kit into the sunset in the same way like a cowboy riding off into the sunset as a man who had made a difference and moved on to the next challenge. Good night from the night.